Welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy.
I'm Tim.
I'm Rod.
And today we're going to be taking a look at Spartacus.
I am Spartacus!
Take one.
I didn't know what to do. I just froze. Okay. So Tim, why don't you tell us about the rules for Spartacus?
All right, so this game's a little different than most of our games because I wasn't actually the one that taught everybody. I wasn't the one that read through the rule book and the instructions, so I can't really go back and say this is how easy it was to learn or not learn through the instruction booklet because we had your cousin actually taught us this game. So we sat around and we played through it. So for us, it was like a demo game at first, right. And then we played an actual game or two after that. So
shout out to George.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna watch.
Right.
One of our
definitely.
subscribers
Every night.
I hope so. Okay.
Yeah. So as far as that goes, but as far as like just instructions for normal players, not the actual person that reads and stuff. There is the turn summary cards, which are pretty nice because it helps you keep track of what's happening, what you're supposed to be doing, and then what's coming up. So as a player how it's going to go and what you've got to look forward to. But with this game, as long as you have this and you've played through one round, you shouldn't have any issues keeping it up because most of the game is the interaction between the players. So it's a very social game. It's a very loud game.
Yes,
Very. Well, I remember the first time I played, the rules seemed overwhelming. Like they were teaching it, and I was like, "Okay, you do what? And then you do this, and then there's bidding, and like I didn't know what to do." And to be honest, I was really taken back, and it bothered me at first because I was like, "I really don't know what I'm doing." But then we played around, and I was like, "Oh!" And then you just played, and then we played the whole game. By the end, I knew exactly what I was doing. So it seemed intimidating at first, but once you did one round, like you said, you were set to go.
So should we talk about the pieces?
Yes, please.
Okay. So first thing is, you guys might as well know right off the bat, outstanding game as when it comes to the pieces. I mean, definitely is an A++. First of all, the game at price point is low. So if you purchase it online or you get it, I don't know what store you get it other than a hobby shop, it's very good price. The thing is that it comes, I mean, you've got the board, which is basically your stadium or your Coliseum, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have the cards. And the cards, the game is going off the TV series. So there's a lot of pictures from the TV series. And as you'll probably see as they're popping up right now, good quality on the cards. Good, and of course, the pictures are great. The pieces are great. I mean, like when it comes to just like these, each person's a house. They represent a house. It's just nice thick cardboard. That's just a nice quality piece. All the this whole board's used the whole time for your money, where you're at on your basically your level and so on. But I mean, quality pieces when it comes to the miniatures that are used for battle. You get a ton of dice. Just really good with the pieces. I'm real happy the board's nice.
Yeah, I was surprised that you actually got quality pieces here. These plastic guys. Because honestly, you don't need minis for this game, so it was a good bonus.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So the game is actually broken down into 4 phases, and that is upkeep, and then you have an intrigue phase, a market phase, and then an arena phase. So basically, at the beginning of each turn, you're going to be refreshing cards and healing wounds and balancing your ledger, things like that. The second phase is we're actually going to be drawing cards. So each person gets 3 cards. And these are going to be intrigue cards. And on these, there's going to be all kinds of things. It's going to be like guards. You could be drawing poisoned wine. You could be getting some kind of a scheme that you could be playing. All kinds of things that you're going to be drawing out of these. Next thing that you're going to do is you're actually going to play some of those cards that you have. So you're going to be doing certain schemes, or you can also, instead of playing a scheme, if there's something that costs you too much, because at the top of the card, it tells you the amount of influence that you must have to play that card. And then at the bottom of the card, it tells you how much that card is worth if you just want to cash it in for money. So you're low on money, or you have a card that requires a higher influence than you have, you can cash that in, get some money out of that, and move on. Also during this phase, if you have special house rules or special abilities, you'll take care of those then. It moves from the intrigue phase to the market phase, and this is where it gets interesting, because now you're going to go into all this kind of stuff with people where you're going to be saying, hey, well, you go in on this with me, and I'll trade you this, and I'll do that, and so you're actually doing this kind of just bartering amongst one another, and it gets a lot of fun actually. At first, when I played it, I didn't know, and I wasn't that good at it, but as you get going into the game, then you're trading with everybody, and you're making deals and doing all kinds of stuff. Next thing that's going to happen is they're going to put market cards out onto the board. And so you're going to bid on these one at a time. And so you'll flip over a card, and everyone will take money in their hands, and they'll put it out on the table, and then you'll reveal what you bid on that card. And so if there's ever a tie, then you do the bidding thing again until someone bids the most and they take that card. And you'll do that on 3 cards, and then that would be the full market phase. And so what's good about this is gladiators might come out on the market. There might be slaves that might come out on the market, or weapons, or all kinds of stuff that comes out there. And so it's kind of fun. You know that there's going to be 3 cards that come out, so you don't want to spend all your money at first, because you're hoping that that really good gladiator is going to appear in the market and you could buy them. So after the market phase is over, then you're going to during the market phase, you're actually going to bid on who is going to be the host. And the host is a big deal for a few reasons. Number one, if you become the host, and you get 1+ in your influence. And so that's great, because the whole idea of the game is to win with the most influence. So you want to increase your influence by being the host. And then the host also gets to invite 2 people to come to the arena to fight. So that's great, because if you're the host and you get to dictate who fights, and so you could use that to your advantage. If there's somebody that's further ahead or has a weaker opponent, whatever your reasons are, you can send 2 people to the arena. So then that house, let's say I picked Rod and Tim, then they get to choose which one of their gladiators, or they could send a slave, whoever, to go to the arena and actually fight. So, but that's all done in the market phase, bidding on who becomes the host, and that's done in the same manner. People put their hands out, you reveal, whoever paid the most gets to become the host. Then there's an arena.
Remember too that it's the host for the next round.
Right.
It's not the current round, because that host still gets to decide all the stuff for the next phase.
And when you're choosing, you can arena.
Yeah.
So it really does pay off.
Right, and that's a big deal, and that played into a number of the games that we played, whereas being the host was a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last phase is going to be the arena phase. And this is the point where the host gets an added influence. The host invites 2 people to come to the arena. They pay tributes. They might place wagers, which is a big part of the game. So depending on which house is sending in a gladiator, you'll know what their gladiators are. And so on each one of the gladiators, they're going to have a card that tells how much their attack is, how much their defense is, and how much their speed is. And so you're going to see which gladiators are coming to the ring. And so now you get to do the whole betting of the game, which could pay off in a big way, or you could lose a whole lot of money too. So you're going to bet on a couple things. You're going to bet on who's going to be the victor. So you can say, I choose side 1 or side 2. So you got your 2 guys. And then you could also bet on how that person is going to lose. So let's say I think that Tim's guy is going to win, and I think he's going to win by decapitation or just by injury. So you could actually put money. So if you choose Tim, this just pays 1-to-1. If you just say that Tim's going to win, then you would get 1-to-1 back on that. But if you choose the correct way that person loses the battle, then you could get paid 2-to-1. So if you say that they're going to get injured, then you get paid 2-to-1. Or if you say that they're going to be decapitated, you get paid 2-to-1. And so that could really pay off in the end. And so you kind of base your bets off of, who you think is stronger, and is this guy just going to completely obliterate this other guy? Okay, I think he's going to win, and I'm going to place a lot on decapitation. And so that pays off. And so they actually go through a fighting round that is based off of the things that are on their card. So if they have a 4 attack, then they're actually going to get 4 red die that they'll roll when they're attacking. If you get, this guy has 5 black die, this guy's amazing. And so you get 5 black die that you're going to roll every time you attack, and then you've got a 3 defend. I'm sorry. And then you've got 3 blue die here for this guy that tells how fast he is. And so there's actually an aspect to the game where you're moving around the arena, and then that dictates who gets to go first, which is a big deal. So So that's kind of how fighting works. And so you're rolling against each other, and finally it works down until you either decapitate them or just injure them. And then the host gets to decide, how does that work? The host gets to decide if they live or die? Or
Yeah, if they're just injured, he
Right.
gets to decide if the defeated gladiator gets to make it back out of the arena.
Right, is he going to die or is he going to let him live? And then,
Which
you
is
know,
a good time to start pouring money on the host,
I'll give you more, here's more money.
Yeah. Don't get my gladiator.
So that's kind of how a round works, and it's really fun because a lot of the fun comes in with the cards that you get to play, where you're going to play schemes on people. And so you might be doing this to that guy, and you get to make an ally with him and work together to try to outwit them. But in the end, you're still trying to get the most influence, so you could be totally screwing somebody else over. Because that's what's great about the turn phase, because in the intrigue phase, you get to play your schemes and get people on your side, but you don't actually have to pay them until later on in the round. So you could say, hey, I'm going to give you 5 gold for that, and then you don't have to pay up. You could just say, sorry, I lied, you know, and then the next turn they're going to come after you. So it's very interactive.
Right.
It's very, I don't know, it's just a
Well, it's
lot.
very open too. I mean, the thing is that's real interesting is that it's probably the most interactive game I think we have. I mean, if you think about it, because everybody's going back and forth, and what happens is it's open market. So these two could be talking, and then I'd be talking with somebody, and then kind of conniving, and then of course we were kind of a lot of joking ends up happening because people's personalities come out when they come to this, and it's pretty fun. We call people nicknames and stuff like Jimmy the Rat. I came up with that before.
There's just a lot of people that end up just betraying a lot of other people.
Exactly.
I don't know how that happens.
Exactly.
And you can make good allies in this game and keep people on your side.
Until
Jordan.
near the end of the game where you just betray them.
Exactly.
You
just
sell
turn
them
your
all
back
out
on them.
for some
That's
reason.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun.
And that
It's
did
pretty
happen.
neat. It very much. So I guess we should go ahead and put a grade on this, huh?
Oh, well, there is one thing I'd like to mention is the vulgarity. Obviously, the show was very vulgar in both word and deed. But this game also carries a little bit of it. Some of the cards have vulgar language on it. There's only a couple, I think.
So I think there's 2, yeah.
But still, that theme is still kind of in the game, so just be forewarned about that.
And I mean, you're dealing with the idea of slaves that you're sending in to get killed in a battle where you're betting on them. I mean, obviously that could be very offensive too. Right. And, it's a different day and age, but, it's just that idea of, maybe that would offend you. And so you don't want to own that, I guess. But Well, at the end of our reviews, we like to give a 1 die review. So the way that we do that is we say, if we give this a green die, we say, go buy this game right now and add it to your collection. If we give it a white die, we say we'd play it, but maybe we wouldn't buy it. And then the red die means don't play it, don't buy it, go play something else. All right, Tim, tell us.
All right. Well, I gave it a green die because it is a great game for several people. I wouldn't say if you had 3 or less people, I don't think you can play with less than 3. I wouldn't say it's a good game, but if you had, say, 6 people and they're, very vocal, as they play games, this would be very good. And it definitely brings you into the theme of the game, so you're definitely into it about the whole betrayals and the schemes and the intrigues and stuff. So overall, it was just fun. It's one of the loudest games, even like other games that have you like Werewolf and Avalon and Coup and all those, where you're betraying people and everything, and none of those get loud.
Right.
This one, like, people are cheering and yelling and screaming and crying.
I didn't cry.
I
didn't cry. Okay. Well, I gave this a white die, partly because of the language, and some things in it that, I'd be hesitant on. But I mean, to be honest, I did enjoy the game though. It was a lot of fun, and we found a way to still play the game without, diving into some of that, But I liked how you could build your gladiators up and add weapons and shields and different things to them, and I really like doing the schemes. I'm not a real big, bluffer, liar. Like I'm not going to backstab someone. I don't know. I wanted to, but Did I?
You're the biggest backstabber.
Short time memory. That's what's going on here.
Okay, maybe I did, but that was at the end when I was trying to win it all, you know. But because I thought I was gonna win, like for like half a second, if I could have been the host that last time. But anyways, but I give it a white just for those reasons. Like I would definitely play this game. So there you go.
Well, mine was definitely green. And the one thing I guess before I start is, in no way is this a fighting game. I mean, the fighting portion of it lasts 2 minutes, right?
But it all builds up to it.
Right.
Right.
And quite honestly, my only problem, other than some of the language, would probably be how the fights are done. Would be probably my only problem in the game, because they're very simplistic. Basically, it's risk. With how you do the dice. And your movement, kind of, if you have, it's a big advantage if you have movement, and if you have higher numbers, the chances of you winning are extreme. But anyway, the game itself is fantastic. Enjoyed it. Interaction with people is fantastic. I mean, it's a very, very good game, but the warnings are out there, like Jim was saying. But I do enjoy the game very, very much.
Right. So if this is a game that you think you'd like, go pick it up. And you can also see a lot more reviews of other games that we've done on our website, theboardgamecloset.com. And we're on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. Check out some other videos that we've got, and
Support your local hobby shop.